What is up? Welcome, everyone. This is a huge episode. This is a really big episode. If you're fans of us, you know this is huge. That's right. We're coming back to the Smiths, and we're looking at one of their most famous songs and figuring out, is it the greatest song ever? We're going to find out in just a second. And everyone, I have to introduce him. You know him, you love him. It's Dixon. How are you?
Nice. Back again. Coming full circle, just about. It's been about a year since we've talked about the Smiths, so here we are, back again. And I just hope, it's approaching winter. Days are getting shorter. I just hope you have a light on, and that light never goes out. Is that possible?
Wow. Wow, really hitting
All right.
hard, really hitting hard with the lyrics again. I love how you always have one planned. It's fantastic.
I know. Sometimes you just got to go for it.
Yeah, so we're talking about There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. Honestly, one of my favorite songs by the Smiths, and if no one knows, you have to watch our The Smiths video where we talk about them and ask ourselves if they're the greatest band ever, and we absolutely love them. And it was my first introduction to them, and I absolutely fell in love with the Smiths. I think that they are probably one of my favorite bands ever now, and I have Dixon to thank for that because he was the one who introduced me to it.
Yeah, I'm glad to share that with you because you were very much drawn to their music after we listened to them initially, and the Smiths have always been one of a band I've enjoyed, and they kind of, I wouldn't say they got mainstream success, but I feel like every Tumblr era sort of quasi emo got into the Smiths after 500 Days of Summer, that movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zoe Deschanel, big friend of the show, big fan of the show. We talked about Zoe at length in discussions. So it always comes back to There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, and it's one of those songs. Just the introduction, you have that kind of build up with the guitar and sort of that new wavy, almost synth pop kind of thing going on, post-punk happening, and that just kind of takes you into this song, and it just kind of sets it off right. It's one of those, I think it's not to maybe inflate it a little bit, I think it's one of those iconic opening riffs that you hear that you can really, really stack up against other ones.
Yes, and I was going to say about the composition, like you hear that and it just goes into it and you know exactly what it is. And maybe a little spoiler for what we're going to talk about, but you also sent me the Rick Astley with the Blossoms and how he did a cover of this song.
Oh my gosh.
And,
yes.
And as soon as they go into that opening riff right there, everyone freaks out. It was amazing to see. I thought that video was fantastic, but it's such a recognizable riff that you hear it and you immediately know. But I loved in that video how everyone just went absolutely wild. It was fantastic.
Let's talk about that for a minute. I think I think this song should be covered more. I think there should be more covers of this song.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so surprised. I'm still surprised that Rick Astley, Rick Roll. I mean,
the Rick Roll man.
Who evidently is Scottish. He has this wonderful Scottish brogue with these R. He rolls these R's. He has covered the Smiths. He and his band have covered the Smiths through the years, and it's unbelievable. It's fantastic. And who would have thought that Rick Astley, Mr. Rick Roll? It seems like it's the ultimate Rick Roll.
Yeah,
I
know.
Would do something like that, right?
Yeah, seriously, it just came out of nowhere, and just the fact that the fans reacted to it, like it was just so good. And yeah, I didn't know he had an accent at all. Did you know that?
No, I had no idea. I thought he was American. He sounds like an African American gentleman. Very deep voice on the Never Gonna Give You Up, whatever. He doesn't look like how he would sound. I didn't know he was British or Scottish or Welsh, whatever he might be. It's funny because when that was at Glastonbury Festival this past summer, an article came out after that, and they said we should make Rick Astley like the new Morrissey because Morrissey, polarizing figure, accused of being hateful and nationalist and all these other things. They want to make Rick Astley the new de facto Morrissey because he's less problematic than Morrissey, which is unbelievable.
That's pretty funny. So is it all just because everyone thinks that Morrissey is problematic? That they
You
want,
know,
a lighter, kind of more family friendly guy.
yeah,
Is that?
yeah. That seems like the whole thing about Rick Astley is that he's more approachable.
Mhm.
Maybe he's not as anti-immigration as Morrissey is, or
Yeah,
maybe he's not as
yeah.
extreme or a hard line on these kinds of things. But the thing is with Morrissey, and I think that's just typical Morrissey, and we've talked about this in length in our Smith's breakdown video. But
Yes.
I think he's if you want to, you could separate the art from the artist. But I think not to endorse any of these views, but I think you have to take all that in when it considers Morrissey because it leads up to what you're getting. You're getting anger, you're getting emotion, you're getting moments of sadness. Their album Meat is Murder. He's always been, vegetarian, vegan, militant veganism in reality.
Yeah.
He's always been anti-royal. He's always been pro-England, England nationalist. And there's something about that whole vibe that Morrissey puts out. It's this anger that he makes approachable through music that sounds kind of good. I think is why you have to look at the whole package. And I could see why that might be problematic if you're looking at him and you're trying to say, okay, I can get into this, but maybe I don't agree with everything he kind of spews out.
Yeah, but like you said, I feel like you could remove the artist from the art. I mean, he could have
Right.
stuff and like you don't agree with him. Like I don't agree with him on some things, especially the veganism, the militant veganism. Like that's a
Yeah,
little too
yeah,
far for me, Morrissey. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
I love your music though. I mean, that's the thing. I would love to see this guy live. I would absolutely love it. I wish I lived
yeah,
back in the time when the Smiths were just coming out because that's how much I love
yeah.
this music. I think you could separate it. So I wouldn't necessarily agree with like putting Rick Astley in for that reason, but
Right.
just because he's a safer version. But I have to say, I thought he friggin' nailed it as far as
I
the
know.
tonality, like the cadence of everything. Like he was pretty spot on.
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's such a cool clip, and his band is having so much fun with it. And
Yeah.
even to this day, even as problematic as Morrissey might be, he's doing a tour. He was, in the United States touring. There's people just running up to the stage, hugging Morrissey. Morrissey isn't really engaging, but he's not pushing them away. Security swarms them. They get him off the stage. And we mentioned this, I think, a couple weeks ago. We've been to a lot of concerts. I've never seen anything like that. You've never seen anything like that with these fans just trying to get to touch Morrissey. There's people crying, they're throwing flowers. It's like, I don't know, it's like Napoleon came back to life and was announcing the Second French Revolution, like something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's something so ridiculous, you know?
What do you think it is? I mean,
Oh my
I I
gosh, I
I
don't even know.
I guess I have an idea, but what do you think it is about him that makes people want like worship the guy, want to run up on stage and friggin' touch the guy? And if I had to guess, I would say it's his voice is very captivating, and I feel like when he
Right,
sings, like you feel like the passion in it, the
right,
way
right,
that he conveys the lyrics and the lyrics themselves. I think it's just it all
for
meshes
sure.
together in this beautiful, almost transcended experience that you would be
Yeah,
having, especially if you saw it live. So I could
no,
see why
yeah,
people, especially the women out there, would
right.
be all about that.
No, right. It's like a religious experience, exactly. And I think going along with that, that's the lyrics, the music, everything else. I think going back to Morrissey as a person, he is one. He's like, in my mind, kind of like a Kanye West figure in the sense that he does not care. He couldn't care less what you
Hmm.
think, what he says. His views are his views, and that's it. And I think that translates and it's attractive to people. And I think that also translates in his music that, hey, we're going to do this. They had this sort of androgynous look when the Smiths first started. And Morrissey still has like the kind of that coiffed hair and, very sort of a chiseled face, chiseled look. Looks like he's staring at you with purpose all the time. But I think it goes back to what my original take on this song is. He was like the original emo king. He made emo cool. And I think that the original take I had on this song, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit, was that there's this theory in American literature that every book flows from Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn.
Hmm.
You have an adolescent. He's on his own. He's breaking the rules, kind of a rebel guy. Gets into trouble. Things happen. Like Catcher in the Rye is Huckleberry Finn in the 1950s, right?
Sure. Yeah.
um, my original take was that, Morrissey is the original emo king, and he made sadness fun. He made sadness a good thing. He made that emo, unlocking your emotions, being in your sad boy phase, dressing androgynously. You're not absolutely masculine. You're not a footballer. Those kinds of things. If you're in Britain, he made those accessible. In reality, I think it all started in the 1950s when you had the Beatles come. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones were influenced by stuff in the 50s, right? You had these really passionate love songs. You're missing your partner. Tears on My Pillow, Little Anthony and the Imperials. You Belong to Me. All these kinds of songs that are really sad boy moments, and they make that sad boy moment accessible, and you want to listen to it and talk about it and embrace it. I think Morrissey took that and brought it here to modern day, in the 80s and the 1980s and early 90s, made that cool, and then launched this whole idea of like, okay, emo is cool, grunge is cool, dressing like your parents don't like is also cool. And I think that keeps going forward. That's why they have had such a big resurgence with 500 Days of Summer, because Zoe Deschanel made that hipster-esque thing cool too, and the Tumblr era, and it all kind of connected to me. So I think you had Morrissey just unlocking that sad boy in everybody and making it fun and making it accessible and making you want to do it.
Yeah, see, that's a really very well put, very intricately put, and I agree with you. I think you listen to this,
right,
and it's like the beginning of the emo stage, but and you mentioned that maybe it started in the 50s prior to him, but he made it accessible. He put it mainstream, or maybe not mainstream, but he made it fun. You listen to this song, and the lyrics of it, I think they're pretty dark. He's from what he's talking about. Having to, dying with the person to be the best thing ever. But I think it's conveying love. Like, you love someone so much that dying with them would be, would be a pleasure, a privilege.
Right.
And
100%.
And yeah, so at the same, he's talking about these dark things, but the way that it's performed is happy. It really is. It's like punk emo.
Right.
Back then.
Right. No, for sure. That's exactly what it is. And you look at the opening, and I picture, because we all had those moments where we're teenagers and you're angsty, and maybe not everybody, but I know you and I were probably on the same plane socially.
Yeah.
In high school, right?
Yeah.
And maybe
absolutely,
you weren't at the football game. Maybe you were driving around smoking cigarettes, and you're like, okay, my parents don't get me, and whatever. You're putting your dashboard confessional on. We all know you were a big dashboard.
Oh God!
Back in the day.
Just so everyone knows, I took one single picture. It wasn't even my shirt. I took one single picture, and I had a Dashboard Confessional shirt, and that I borrowed from someone. Ever since then, I'm a Dashboard Confessional fan.
I don't think I've ever heard one song by Dashboard Confessional.
I don't think I have either. I really don't. But anyway,
the opening stanza just sets it up. It's take me out tonight, where there's music and there's people and they're young and alive, driving in your car. I never wanted to go home because I haven't got one anymore. And it goes on and he goes, oh, please don't drop me home, because it's not my home, it's their home, and I'm welcome no more. And in that moment, you have that moment when you're a teenager, because nothing is real. There's no reality. Nothing makes sense. And it's like, okay, we're living in this moment. What if we just died together right now? It'd be so great. Who cares in reality? And I think maybe we haven't had that extreme, but I can get where that feeling is coming from.
Yeah. And it's like you said, if you're at war with your parents and you're angsty like that, I mean, like he says, it's not my home, it's their home. And I think he's conveying that he just doesn't feel home with wherever he's living with his parental units. And I think we could all absolutely relate to that. But when you get that feeling, it really is weird, because it's like you've been there your whole life, you trusted your parents, maybe you have a good relationship with them, but then when you get to that age, it's like, what is going on? What is real? Am I, do I belong here? Where do I belong?
Right.
I hate my parents now, but they raised me, so where do I go? It's a very strange point in your life. It really is. But I think Morrissey and the Smiths in this song conveys it perfectly.
No, for sure. It absolutely does. And I think that's what's so good about this is that, you're talking about, okay, let's just die together, whatever, let's just drive off a cliff, whatever it might be. Right. but it's like it's the music. It's so light. It's so accessible, and I think it's one of those few songs that takes you back to being in that driver's seat or that passenger seat, or you're with your friends, you're doing something. I think it's one of those songs that can unlock a memory. And I always like in those moments to the one of the scenes in Ratatouille when the critic Ego is eating ratatouille cooked by the rat, and he has that moment of like, oh my gosh, it takes him back to his mom's house when he was
Yes,
a kid. He's
yes.
making that. What a powerful scene in film. That might be
Really.
one of the all-time greatest scenes in film, and it's not talked about enough because it's a rat movie and it's animated.
It's a rap
But
movie. But you're right though. You're right. That is a beautiful scene. It really is.
and that's gotta be it's such a powerful scene. And there's moments where I have that, especially with food, because I mean, I hate to get into, I hate to be like this, but I am a snob when it comes to food. I know it's good. I know what's not.
Yes.
My fiance is the exact opposite. Everything she eats is fantastic. I have a very discerning
Uh,
palate, and I'm not looking to shut anything down or be an a-hole about it. I just know what's good and what I like.
yes.
And I am mad, and I sometimes I have those moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm taken back to somewhere else, or I'm taking to somewhere else. Same thing happens for me with that song. I think this is why it's so popular. Why one of the reasons why Morrissey is so popular. Written by Johnny Marr, written by Morrissey himself. Stephen Morrissey is actually the credit on here. Um, and we talk about this, and we're kind of saying, is it one of the greatest songs of all time? Well, here it was released on 1986. The Queen is Dead. Wasn't released until a single until 1992, which is when it was 5 years after they had broken up,
Mm.
and they were actually promoting a compilation, like a best of album. Um, Peaked at number 25 on the UK singles chart and number 22 on the Irish singles chart. In 2014, NEM, oh, excuse me, NME listed it as the 12th greatest song of all time. And in 2021, it was ranked as the 226th top 500 greatest song of all time by Rolling Stone. So it was
Wow.
226 out of the top 500. So there is something there, and I think it says something about it because it's just so accessible, and it might take you to another moment in time. And that's really what good writing is.
Yeah, we always talk about this when writing a song, whatever, can convey an emotion in you, and especially nostalgia, because nostalgia is like a super powerful one.
Right.
Memories from your past, memories when you were younger, from better times, worse times, whatever. That is powerful, and I think a song like this, like you said, it makes you feel something. It brings you back. It puts you in that car when you're driving around with
Mm-hmm.
your friend or your girlfriend at the time, and you are you're this song just it puts you there. So
Right.
I could definitely agree, and it doesn't surprise me that this song is on those lists. Now, do you know why it took so long for it to become a single or like recognized? Like
No,
what,
I don't
like,
know.
because I was looking at the numbers for this, and if you look at it, it had certified unit sales of, well, 600,000. I guess is a lot, but I think when you look at some of the sales from modern songs, you see it a lot
Right.
more. There's nothing even listed for US, so I just
Wow.
I wonder why it took so long for it to hit like a
Yeah.
critical reception here.
And that's the whole thing. I think, it's amazing to consider that this song might have been overlooked. It's crazy to think about that, right?
Hmm.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's such a novel. It's such poetry, and I think, and maybe Morrissey, as Morrissey is, because he kind of has that, maybe he's not totally accessible as a person or as an interviewer, kind of that Bob Dylan mysterious kind of thing. Maybe this is totally something different. Maybe we're taking it literally, but if I understand the Smiths and how they operated and how they were doing it, it was literally in that moment like, hey, I'm a sad teenager. Take me away from my house, and it's relatable, and that's kind of how it works. So I think that's really kind of how it encapsulates the whole thing, and the emotion you feel. So, and
Yeah.
Morrissey still plays it live. Rick Astley is playing it live. I don't know. I think it's one of those great songs. I'm surprised it's not covered more. That was what I said before, and I think it's true.
Yeah, no, I am too. And if you look here, like some of the critics say, this guy, if you look on the Wikipedia page, it says, in a straw poll among Smiths fans today, There Is Light That Never Goes Out would more than likely still come out as the best Smith song,
Right.
which he credits to the perfect balance of Marr's compositional skills and Morrissey's lyricism. And I mean, like that, I feel like that's what it is. You have the compositional aspect of this song, and you have Morrissey's lyrics, like you said, that convey emotion out of you. I think,
Right.
and I love all the the other Smith songs as well, but this one
Right.
stands out.
Right.
But here the interesting thing is I can't really put a finger on why this one stands out more than other Smith songs. I don't know.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I'm with you too, and I think that we're going to get maybe something in the comments if you're a Smiths purist about
Yeah.
that. Oh, okay, cliche, whatever. Oh, we saw it because it was in that movie, that kind of thing. I think there could be a little bit of that.
Yeah.
However, you
Yeah.
know, it's no, yeah, absolutely, and I think that I think Johnny Marr is really underrated too as a guitar player. I think you should hear. I think we should be hearing more about Johnny Marr, just in general. I think his licks, like I said, I think some of his stuff is so iconic, you know, and I think it created a new sound, at least furthered a new sound, you know.
No, yeah, and this Marr, he here now, and this is interesting because I love the composition of the song, and one of my favorite parts of it, music wise, is the flute melody. And I was reading about this, and right here, there's a little snippet. The recording was completed in November at Jacob's studio, where Morrissey redid his vocal part twice, and then Marr added in a flute melody. So it wasn't even in there in the first place. And he goes on, describes the recording process of the song as magical, and commented,
Wow.
Someone told me that if you listen with the volume, and I don't know if you knew this, if you listen with the volume really, really loud, you can hear Marr shout, "That was amazing," right at the very end.
I don't know if I knew that. I don't know if I've heard that.
No, I don't know either. I'm gonna have to listen to it again now.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's like little organic things like that happen. That I feel like you don't really get that with modern music anymore. Like these guys were in there, they were creating something. It was all happening organically. You know, like I just said right there, Marr was listening to it and he had to add in the flute melody because he thought it would fit and all this stuff. And then you know, he screams that was amazing probably from behind the booth, and it gets kept in there. I love that stuff.
What a testament to the production of it, you know, and that's I think the Smiths production is probably underrated as well. And I think that's probably another reason why that the Smiths are popular and this song is popular. And this song is so good. There's a story, and I think we definitely talked about this. Pet Sounds, which you don't enjoy. You kind of missed it on the point of that.
We're gonna I always say this. We're gonna revisit that one day. Maybe
we definitely should revisit that.
Yeah.
Now that you have a little bit more of a refined palate, you have you're gonna maybe have your Ratatouille moment listening to that. This is why I hate this album. All right, now
that's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be like, oh yeah, so I still hate it, but now I know why I hate
it. There's a moment where they're recording Pet Sounds and Brian Wilson is yelling something to somebody, and it's on the track, and he's meeting with the band and they're looking over the tape, and somebody said, "Oh, are you gonna get rid of that part with you talking?" He's like, "Well, no, he's gonna leave it in." And they're like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, I thought it was part of the music." And they're looking at him like he's insane.
Of course, yeah. Someone says that.
Talking about? Like, what are you even talking about? So I can see that being totally part of a production, because the production is the event. You know, it's the whole thing is the production, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, no, I love that. I absolutely love that. But yeah, no, this is a fantastic. Absolutely fantastic song. Now, what do you think about the whole kind of dark aspect? Like, when you get to the middle and the end of the song, when he's talking about dying by your side, and you know, a 10-ton truck killing both of you in the car immediately, and you both die.
Yes.
Do you think I mean, like, I'm trying to take this as like, do you think this is a very surface level song? You don't think anything else is really going on here? I think this is just meant to be taken as it is, and I think it's really is about him. You know, he might not feel comfortable at home, so he goes out, or he has a girlfriend or something, and he just wants to be with her. And if they died right now, like you said, it would be totally great. It would be totally fine, because he doesn't know where he fits in this world. You know, all this stuff. But the only place that you feel right is with your significant other. And I think this is conveyed pretty beautifully, honestly. If you think hauntingly beautifully, I would say, if you really think about it. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. You're spot on. I think that, yeah, significant other, friends, whatever it might be, you have that moment where you're home
Mhm.
and you feel like you're home. And like you said, I think it's a surface level thing. I think it's that teenage angst, like, oh, you
Yeah.
know what? I don't care if we die right now; it'll be great or whatever. And I picture this. Have you ever read or have you ever seen the movie The Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Um, I've definitely heard about it, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, you're not a big movie guy. You're not a big.
Yeah,
You haven't read the book either, right?
I have not. I'm not a big media guy in general, I guess.
Yeah, you're anti-media. You're
I
pretty you're kind of limited in your media.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
You still play that World of Warcraft?
I have not. See, I go on my spurts. I get very hyper fixated on it when like a new a new expansion comes out, and then I get burnt out pretty quick.
That's insane that that game still has expansions and it's still based on like the same original
Oh yeah,
concept, right?
oh yeah.
It
It's
just there's not new World of Warcrafts. It's
no,
just new additions, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like new
exactly.
updates or whatever. That's insanity.
Yeah, it's like, oh well, we're putting an expansion. And now you go to this new land. Like all the continents are still there, but we're adding on this other continent, and you get to go there, and that's pretty much what it is.
What's the whole goal of that?
Okay, the whole goal pretty much is just to get better gear and to do more damage. That's pretty much that's the
There's
whole.
no like you can't complete a story at some point.
Oh
Like,
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You
yeah,
can complete a main story, but then you have to face like the bosses, which you have to face in raids, which is this big. It's actually now I'm kind of getting back into WoW now that I'm talking about it because it's very
oh
exciting.
no,
You do like big 25-man raids. You get 25 of your friends together, and you
right? The
go through
raid
this
parties, yes.
massive dungeon, and then you try to kill each boss in there, and then you get to the final one, and that's usually the hardest. And you beat him, and then you get all this. You get gear. You try to run through it multiple times, and then it's like, oh wow, I can't believe you got that gear. I can't believe you got that drop from that raid, and you show off to your friends with your gear that you got, and that's pretty much the gist of it.
It's amazing. I dated a girl that played WoW, and I'll tell you what,
Mm.
she met some real creeps on there, real
Oh,
weirdo creeps.
oh my god, absolutely. There's a lot of creeps on WoW. Not me, of
Just
course. I would never.
not you, of course.
Yeah, I would never do that.
If you're out there playing WoW, reassess what you're doing because I'll tell you what, from the unsavory characters I've come across as a result of that. I mean, it was
See
just
this.
weird.
See this is why you don't like WoW because you. Well, I was gonna say you think everyone on there is like that, but I would probably say a majority of people on there are are like that. Actually,
Like,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it actually it's very strange because it shifted because nowadays it's mostly people like our age, like middle-aged guys that are still middle-aged men and women that are still playing because they want to like chase what they had in their childhood, and it's like,
Okay,
and this friggin'
okay,
game is still going on, and it's been out for 20 years, and it's like, oh yeah,
yeah, it's insane.
I got kids, so like I just got to sneak on really quick and try to do this. Like
Oh
that's
my
that's
god.
pretty much
Yeah, so
who's
it's a
on there
different.
now.
It's kind of evolved, huh?
Yeah, much more. I would
Yeah.
honestly say much more mature because I remember looking at the chat back in the day, like 10, 15 years ago, and there was some wild shit being said. Now it's kind of toned down.
I just picture like like that meme, like that kid with the glasses and like the cystic acne and like the
Yeah.
hair like on top of his head. Like that's what I picture, like playing WoW, like in a dark room, and like
Oh yeah.
like there's just grease and jizz on the mouse, and like
Oh
there's
my
like
god.
just crust. Everything is crusty.
Oh
Nothing's
god.
fresh.
I
Look at
could
that musty smell. You know what I mean?
I could see that too. I could. You know what? You know what's very interesting though? There are a lot of attractive women that play that game. Like
Yeah,
like a
yeah, I bet.
surprising amount. We had quite a few women in our guild.
Oh
There's a
yeah, the
lot.
guild. I forgot about the guild.
Oh yeah.
That's so funny. God, good for you. I don't even know what we were talking about. I have no idea. I'm enthralled with
Yeah,
this. Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm
And
sorry.
I really want to play this. I've always wanted to play it. I think, but it's like it's a PC thing, right? It's not a console.
Yeah, it's a PC thing. You don't need something like big or powerful. It would be a lot. It'd be. I don't know if you would like it because it's a big investment. You waste a lot of
Right.
time doing it. It's like
Right.
it's fun. I still think it's really fun though. A lot of different classes, a lot of different
I
characters you
got
can
you.
play. Yeah, it's a good time. But by the way, we were talking about perks of being a wallflower. I don't know how we got
Yes,
onto WoW
yes,
though.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because it's funny because I dated a girl that was it was I dated a separate girl that played WoW, and that brought me back to
Mm.
I had a Ratatouille moment, I guess.
I love it.
And
Ratatouille moment.
and then I thought about the other girl I dated who I went to see Perks of Being a Wallflower when it got released as a movie with, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower is like it's this kid and he's kind of sad. I think he wants to unalive himself. I think,
Oh boy.
and um, but he meets a group of friends and he's in love with the one girl, but the girl doesn't love him, and she's dating a jock, and the jock beats the kid up or something, and they're kind of finding the one or the jock is homosexual with the homosexual friend.
What?
Yes, it's this whole thing, but it's a finding yourself. It's your moment, and at the end, one of the famous lines in the novel and the movie is, and in that moment, I felt infinite.
Wow.
And it turns out that the main character's aunt barred him when he was younger, but whatever. And yeah, it's kind of took a really dark turn, but in the phrase in this moment or whatever it is, I felt infinite or I feel infinite. That kind of to me sums up this song. And there's a scene at the end of the movie where he's standing up out of he's either in a truck or a sunroof, a moonroof, and he's has his arms out on the highway. That to me is like the visual I get. He's there with his friends and stuff. That's the visual I get when I think about this song. That you're free. You have no moment. You have no concept of any other moment, but right now and in this moment, you could do anything you want to do, and literally, figuratively, freedom, whatever it might be, whatever that looks like for you. I feel like that's part of that adolescent experience. That kind of sums it up.
I think I feel like you encapsulated it perfectly right there. I think that's what this song is saying. Absolutely. And honestly, that Perks of Being a Wallflower sounds like a good movie.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, it came out I think probably 10 years ago by now. It was a book first. The book is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
And it's funny because this Stephen Chbosky, I believe, is the author's name, and he's never written or done anything else but that. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of a one-off weird thing, but whatever.
That is interesting.
It's kind of surprising, but so when you consider all of your favorite songs, all the songs you think are good, so you have Every Day by Dave Matthews, whatever that Dashboard Confessional song is that you really like.
Yes. Oh yeah, that one. What else? Or Send Me On My Way. Roasted Roof.
Yes, Roasted Roof. That is a good one. Or Steal My Sunshine by Len.
Yes. Steal My Sunshine. Okay, what? Oh man, there's gotta be like one more. I can't
Boogie
think.
Shoes.
Yeah, Boogie Shoes.
That is a good song.
That's a fantastic song. Come on, those are all really good songs. Those are all feel good songs.
Those are really good songs. They are really good songs. So in reality, where do you think this holds up? Do you think of all the songs in the world, maybe say the 20th century, maybe?
Okay.
Do you think this holds up top 10? Do you think it holds up top 100? Is it worth having a discussion about it? And I know it's really hard to think about with everything that we've discussed and all the things that are out there. Do you think it holds up? Could it hold up? Maybe if it doesn't make the mark.
You know what? I honestly do, and I'm very biased. The Smiths, Morrissey has moved me in such a way that I'm very biased. I look at all their songs differently after I started listening to them, and in a very good way. But I think you have to put this in probably the top 10 greatest songs of all time. Now, that being said, I have a very limited knowledge of a lot of music, just so everyone knows. So if I say
this is valid. Don't defend your choice. This is your choice. This is absolutely. You have a reason for it, and I like it.
I honestly think so. I think when the song could put you somewhere, when it makes you feel something, the way that Morrissey sings, his vocals, the way that this was composed, that friggin' flute melody that I absolutely love so much. I'm going to listen to the song again now and listen to that. Everything about this song, I think you have to look at it, and it absolutely holds up, and I think it will for a long, long time. And I think you have to put it up there as one of the best songs ever made.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a rare song. I think this is a one-off that it has to be talked about. It has to be in the mix of those songs because, like you said, to be able to transcend a moment, to transport you back to a moment, and to inspire you and have feelings. I think that's really says a lot. I agree. I think it's gotta at least be talked about. I think you have to talk about songs in my mind. I think about greatest songs of all time. I think about like a Rolling Stone, Bob Dylan. That's really the only one that comes to mind. I know for sure.
I'm sure you have more. I'm sure if we
yeah, like I'm trying to be, and I always try to be objective.
Mhm.
I think that has to be up there. And I think you have to make a case for like Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I think that's got to be somewhere in there too. I don't know.
We got to listen to them one of these days. By the way,
Yeah, we know
we
we do.
really
We have to
it's
do that.
a long time coming.
We
But yeah,
we shit a lot on Kurt Cobain on this program.
yeah, we
May
we do.
rest in
Sorry,
peace.
sorry, Kurt. We
Yeah.
we don't mean it. All right, no one attack
Yeah.
us, okay?
But
It's all jokes, probably.
yeah, I think it holds up to something like
Yes,
that
yeah.
that composition. I think for sure. I think it's on that same level. So yeah, and I think it's a great example of, I think that's a continuation of sort of that Bob Dylan thing, like a Rolling Stone. You're a hippie, you're on your own. F your parents, F the government. Here's my freedom. Maybe it doesn't work out, you
Yeah.
know. And I think that's, Morrissey is just taking that idea and kind of making it his own in that emo punk way. So yeah, definitely. I think for sure you got to talk about it. Top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really hope that our fans, our subscribers, our listeners would agree with us. And I think they probably will. We have a lot of people that come from the Smiths fan group.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm sure they'd probably agree with us. I'm sure they have their own takes on why they think this is one of the greatest songs, because I mean,
Definitely.
statistics are they probably think that this is probably one of the best Smith song that ever was released.
No, for sure. Yeah. So comment what the Smiths mean to you, what
Yeah.
this song means to you. What do you think it's about? What is your favorite Smith song? If this isn't it, tell us why you don't like it, why it shouldn't even be considered. I mean, just let us know. We're happy to be engaged with any comments. So,
Yeah.
it's we enjoy it all.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and also before
Oh,
we
boy.
go, let us know. Guys, I'm very curious about this. What did you think of the Rick Astley cover? That was
Yeah.
I really want to know what like hardcore the Smiths and Morrissey fans think about that cover. I wonder if they appreciate it, or if they're like, oh, this is, a lot of purists out there might be like, oh, he shouldn't be even touching this. There are no covers of
Yeah.
the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I could see that being a thing too, especially Rick Astley. I mean, it's just
Of all
unbelievable.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I mean,
Unbelievable.
again, personally, I think he did a fantastic job, but that's
Yeah, I like
just
it
me.
too.
Yeah,
I like it too, for sure.
yeah. But what
Very good.
do we have any previews for next week? You know what we're gonna do? We
Yes,
haven't talked about.
yes.
Oh, we do. Okay, what
We
do
know
you?
exactly what we're talking about.
Oh boy, what are we doing?
Can you take me higher?
Wow! Oh my
Creed-
God!
Creed-
No way! Yes,
Creed is
yes.
back. We're talking about Creed
Oh.
again and why we love Creed and our top Creed songs.
Yes.
And their new tour coming up. We have to talk about this because
Okay,
in
you're
reality,
right. Yes, I love it. I love it.
Because in reality, we don't want to take credit for this.
Yeah.
But we are
don't.
probably the only online channel that was discussing Creed in the last 6 months.
Yes.
If you search for anything related to Creed, we are the only ones that did a video on Creed. I guarantee it.
Yeah, literally, probably in the last like 5 years. No one has been talking about Creed except us.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. You're right. I think we brought it back.
I guarantee you, if you search like, oh, Creed reaction, whatever it might be,
There's no.
we are the only ones
Yeah.
out there.
It's desolate. There's no one out there saying this.
And I think that video got maybe like 40 views. Like, I don't think anybody watched that video at all.
I'm looking back. When was that? I don't even see it here.
That was, I think, under the summer, because I was talking about whatever happened to Creed. That was my big question. And sure enough, here they are. They're back in action. The Summer of '99 tour is coming back in 2024.
I mean, I'm personally super excited about it. I really, really am. I kind of. Oh, here we go. What happened to Creed? I'm really surprised that no one picked up on this. I really am.
How long ago was that? When was that?
So this is back in June 19th, 2023.
Yeah, seriously, we were discussing Creed before Creed happened.
Yeah, not a single YouTube. Not even music related people. I'm talking about any YouTuber in the world, any podcaster was talking about Creed except us. And what do you know? Here they are.
And what do you know? Here they are, the back gate. Well, Scott, stop by. You're welcome. That we reignited your career. Absolutely.
Yeah. You're well. And Dixon, I'm not even joking. I'm like I'm like on the cusp of actually like getting tickets so we could go to this
Yeah.
and
No, we
just
got to see them.
I honestly,
For sure.
I'm not even joking. I might actually want to go see them just so we could do a live
know.
report and come back and talk about it.
Seriously, because in the summer Scott Stapp was doing a free. He was at like some festival. That's how I came up with the question.
Yeah.
What happened to Creed? He was doing like the free concert, the preview night of some festival somewhere. Like he wasn't even headlining. Like it wasn't even there, and Creed wasn't with him.
Yeah, he was like a sideshow.
Yes, exactly. And it was like that was only a couple months ago. And now Creed they're launching a world tour, at least a United States tour.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. It looks like
I can't believe it.
I know. I'm seriously really excited. Aren't they touring with other people as well?
Yeah, the Three Doors Down. You like Three Doors Down, don't you?
Oh, of course.
What's that song they sing? Do they have a pretty popular song?
Let me look it up really quick. Three Doors Down, popular
give
song.
me Three Doors.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Here Without You. Oh, Kryptonite.
Kryptonite. Yes, that's one. Yeah.
Loser. When I'm Gone. Why can't I think of any of these songs? I don't know any of these.
That's. Yeah, I think I know those songs. Yeah, that's not that good. I don't think Three Doors Down is that
good. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Three Doors Down.
I think they're that good. I think they're like they're so bland. You know.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those like early 2000s. Like
yeah.
It kind of meshed in with everything.
Right.
Else.
It did. No, for sure.
But yeah, we're really looking forward to the Creed concert.
Do me a favor and look up what.
No, I'm sorry. I just looked. You know who else is playing with them? Daughtry.
Who?
Friggin' Daughtry.
Oh my gosh, Daughtry. Where do they dig Daughtry up from?
the back alley trad. I don't know. What's he even doing now?
Oh, I didn't even know Daughtry was still around. That's insanity. Oh my gosh,
that is pretty
epic.
great. He was back from like
American
Idol.
Right?
Yeah, he won American Idol.
Yeah. Did he win American Idol?
I think he did. Didn't he win, or was he like second? I can't remember.
You know, I feel like all the people that finished like second or third are the ones who, besides Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, but everyone else, like second or third, they were the ones that made it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's Daughtry. He's another one too. So he was so bland.
I know.
Nickelback's not involved in this.
No, unfortunately, Nickelback. Yeah. Maybe they'll do like a surprise surprise show up. We
That's fantastic. I can't believe that we literally are. We have to literally take credit for this because we're the only ones talking about Creed up until this point.
Yeah, we really do. We do.
And do me a favor, look up the song "So Cold." Who sang that?
So cold. Breaking Ben.
No, it's not Breaking Ben. It's a different band. Never meant to be so. Put a "Never meant to be so cold." That's the lyric.
Oh, Crossfade.
Oh my gosh, I think that's their only song they ever had. I love that song.
That is a pretty great song. What?
Yeah, that's typical butt rock.
No, it is. Yes, butt rock. That's exactly what that is. Crossfade popular songs: Colors, So Far Away.
Don't know any of those.
No Giving Up, The Deep End. Yeah, I'm not really even sure what any of these are.
I haven't known any of those except for the other one. The whatever, So Cold, whatever the hell it is. Yeah. So get ready.
Yeah. Everyone get ready for this.
Exactly. We're excited to bring you.
Yeah,
we're excited to bring you Creed.
I want Creed to have us introduce them on stage.
Yes, literally. We're literally the only ones. At that point in our podcasting era and Scott Stapp's career, we could have probably got him on this show because it was literally basically a free act. Like he would be like a $5 ticket, poor guy.
Yeah, honestly, we could probably get it. We should look into like one hit wonder band. Like we should like contact Daughtry and be like, "Yo, you want to come on our show?" Once we get up to 1,000, I bet we'd get some traction and be like, "Hey,
for sure,
you want to come on our show?"
Yes, no, for sure. That's absolutely it. Because we were talking about Kanye before. Like Kanye is nuts enough. He might just stop by. Like he might call in.
Kanye, he absolutely would, and it would be like some weird like avant-garde thing to him, like, "Oh yeah, I'm talking to the people," kind of.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, maybe one day we'll get there. Who the heck knows? Because we just broke Creed, so we're on a pretty good hot streak right now.
We did.
Yeah. Very good.
Good stuff. Well, guys, we had a lot of fun today, but always remember to like and subscribe and comment. And again, let us know what you think about this song. Let us know what you think about Rick Astley's cover. Should he have done it? Is he bad for doing it? What do you think about everything that we talked about today? Let us know down below.
Yeah, absolutely. Smash that like button. Smash that sub button. Comment your favorite songs. Comment what you want us to hear. And look forward to the next episode as well.
That's right. All Creed all the time. We're going to be a Creed, the whole Creed channel.
Very good. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys. We will see you in the next one.
Peace.